Brings me to the question of how many times should you have sexual intercourse within this period to increase your chances to get pregnant fast. During ovulation, how many times should you have sex in order to get pregnant fast? How many times is ideal? In today's video, I'll be answering this question. If you're new to my channel, I am Dr. Amarachi Ijeoma. I am a fertility physician, and my channel focuses on everything women's health and fertility. So if this is the kind of content you're interested in, keep watching. So the first thing you should know is, how does pregnancy occur? Pregnancy can only occur when the sperm fertilizes an egg. And how do we get this sperm? Through sexual intercourse. Although in other cases like IVF and IUI, there are other ways to get the sperm. But we're talking about naturally, how we get the sperm is usually through sexual intercourse. So what happens is the penis penetrates the vagina, deposits semen into the vagina, and the sperm cells swim all the way into the uterus, that is the womb of the woman, to fertilize the egg in the fallopian tube. So usually, when the sperm enters the woman's body, that is when it enters the uterus, it can stay, it can survive in the woman's reproductive organ, that is her womb, for up to 5 days. So the egg does not do the waiting. It is actually the sperm that does the waiting. What the egg does is to get into the fallopian tube. Then the sperm, millions of sperm cells, will be fighting to be the first person to get to the egg to fertilize the egg. So this is where the calendar comes in. As a woman that is trying to conceive, that is trying to get pregnant, it is very important to know your cycle length. What is your cycle length? Your cycle length is the number of days between two periods. That is, counting from the very first day you see your period to the last day before you see your next period. For example, if you see your period on the 2nd of this month, that's on Thursday, on the 2nd of this month, that will be the very first day you are seeing your period. That's day 1. Then we will count the number of days before you see your next period. That's how we'll get your cycle length. So this is day 2, day 3, day 4. Most women usually bleed for only 4 days, but it is normal to bleed for 2 to 7 days. So even after bleeding has stopped, we will still keep counting the number of days before you see your next period, because what we are trying to achieve is your cycle length. 5, 6, 7, day 8, day 9, day 10, day 11, day 12, 13, 14, 15, day 16, day 17, day 18, day 19, day 20, day 21, day 22, day 23, day 24, day 25, day 26, day 27, day 28. So if your cycle length is 28 days, then you'll be seeing your period on the 30th, which is a Thursday, on the 30th of that same month. So remember our definition. Cycle length is the number of days between your periods, counting from the very first day you see your period to the last day before you see your next period. So for a woman with a cycle length of 28 days, when is she likely to ovulate? When is her ovary likely to release an egg that the sperm cells that are already waiting in the uterus will be fighting to fertilize? All you need to do is subtract 14 days. So this is 28-day cycle. Subtract 14 days and you will have 14. So this 14 now is when you're most likely to ovulate. So you now count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you're most likely to ovulate here as a 28-day cycle woman. So if you're ovulating here, then remember that if you had sex 5 days before this day 14, the sperm is already waiting for the egg to come to fertilize it. So 5 days before this day 14 is your fertile period. Also, note that it is not a must for ovulation to occur on day 14. It can occur on day 13, on day 12, on day 15, or on day 16, plus or minus 2. So what we do is we take the earliest possible time that you can ovulate and add 5 to it, because the sperm can survive in the female reproductive tract for about 3 to 5 days. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So anytime from day 8, day 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 is her fertile period. It's her fertile window. What is a fertile window? A fertile window is the number of days in a month, in a woman's cycle, that gives her the highest chance of conceiving after unprotected sexual intercourse. Another important information is that we only require one sperm cell, one sperm, to fertilize an egg. In a healthy man, the semen contains millions of sperm cells that will be fighting and running and racing all the way to meet the egg, and only one, the fastest of them all, will be the one to fertilize the egg. So if we say that you should have sexual intercourse within this period, how many days do we even give you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days in a month, where your chances of conceiving with unprotected sex is the highest. Brings me to the question of how many times should you have sexual intercourse within this period to increase your chances to get pregnant fast. Mind you, you don't know exactly when you're ovulating. You just have an idea that you most likely ovulate on day 14, or you can ovulate on day 13 or day 12 or day 15 or day 16. So as usual, we're taking the earliest one, which is day 12, and then if we have sexual intercourse here, even if we have sexual intercourse only once, remember that the sperm can survive in the woman's body for about 3 to 5 days. So even if you have sex only once in this whole month, there is a chance of getting pregnant if you ovulate on the 12th. A woman is most fertile 3 to 2 days before ovulation. Imagine you have sexual intercourse here on day 10 and you ovulate on day 12. Even if it's just once, remember that in a healthy man, he's releasing millions of sperm cells. He's releasing millions of sperm that will go on the journey of who is the best man for this egg. So you don't need to have sexual intercourse 5 times on this particular day, because just once is enough for the sperm to go and fertilize the egg. So how often should you have sex? Of course, like I said, once in a day is perfectly okay, except there are other reasons you want to have multiple times in a day, then that's okay. So for a woman with this cycle, if she has sexual intercourse on day 8, day 10, day 12, day 14, day 16, she's having sexual intercourse within her fertile window. So even if that month she ovulates on day 16 and she had sexual intercourse on day 14, there's sperm cell waiting. Even if she had the sexual intercourse last on day 12, there's sperm cell waiting, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't forget, the sperm can survive in the female body for up to 5 days. So once you know your fertile window, it means that you are ready. You are actively trying to get pregnant. So you can wing it, you can manipulate it anyhow you want to, provided you have the knowledge on what you're trying to do. You can even decide to have sex today on day 8 and not have sex on day 10, and just come have sex on day 12. You're still within your fertile window, okay? Or next time you're having sex after day 12 is day 15. That's okay, you're still on the right track. This same explanation applies to all women with regular cycles. What do I mean by regular cycles? Regular cycle is when your cycle length is between 21 to 35 days. So if your cycle length falls within 21 to 35 days, then you have a regular period. Then all you need to do to know when you will most likely ovulate is to subtract 14 from whatever your cycle length is. For example, if your cycle length is 30 days, you will just subtract 14 from it and get 16, and then you will know that your ovulation is most likely on day 16. That is, you count from here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the 16 is when you most likely ovulate, plus or minus 2. If you've actually gotten to this point of the video, then I have a bonus for you. I have a video where I explained with all the possible cycle lengths, in fact 2 videos, both the irregular cycle lengths and the regular cycle lengths, where I explained with all possible cycle lengths, telling you when you most likely ovulate, when your safe days are, and where your fertile period is. So this brings me to the end of today's video. If you found it informative and you want more content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below, share with your friends, and see you in my next video.